Peace and love, children of the sun. We're going to talk about Jay-Z and him lashing out and him going at Drake. He keeps talking about numbers and saying you're looking at the wrong charts. Well, the only thing he's holding on to is he had the most platinum sold, and they're trying to say he's the top artist, which is bullshit because Tupac sold 70 million records. You know what I mean? You were putting out albums before when there was no streaming. And you were putting them out every 2 years. You wasn't giving out free music like everybody was doing with the mixtapes, like 50 Cent, Dipset, French Montana, Gucci Man, Lil Wayne. You wasn't doing that. So of course your cult fan base would have to go out and purchase your stuff. You was also doing bundle packages and doing deals with Sprint, before anybody else like Takashi or Nicki Minaj and Cardi B was doing bundles. So he knows how to cheat the system. But you're not the biggest globally. Taylor Swift, Bad Bunny, and Drake is. When it comes to number ones, it's Taylor, Drake, Jay-Z, and Future. Future just sold his catalog for 70 million. You know what I mean? They're saying that Drake's catalog is worth 72 million and Jay-Z's is only 8 million. When you do the math, according to academics, you know what I'm saying? They're comparing Drake to Michael Jackson with the number ones. He just beat him out. So we're going to talk about these numbers in first weeks. Thank Me Later, 447,000. Take Care, 631,000. Nothing Was the Same, 658,000. This IYRTITL, 535,000. The Views from the Six, 852,000, which got 245 million streams and came out 1.4 million. It went platinum. More Like, 505,000. Scorpion, 732,000. CLB, 613,000. Honestly, Nevermind was 204,000 with 250 million streams. It was his 11th number one. For All My Dogs, 402,000. Her Loss, 404,000. And he just came with Iceman, 483,000. And the three albums totaled at 687,000. And it went platinum. Okay. And he got out of his deal. We don't want to talk about streams. Scorpion, 746 million. CLB, 744 million. For All My Dogs, 514 million. Her Loss, 513 million. Iceman, 462 million. Views, 245 million. Honestly, Nevermind, 250 million. More Life, 385 million. Come on, man. And he's really mad that Drake got a $20 million deal with Apple. Then he got a $400 million deal. And now he has a $2 billion deal. You know what I mean? And when we talk about Michael Jackson, the best that ever did it, when he died, his catalog is worth $2 billion. His movie just did 97 million in the United States, and it's 218 million worldwide. One of his albums alone did 60 million, and they're comparing Drizzy to him. And stop saying that Kendrick is even in this category because he's not. Kendrick's sales were 5,000, 242,000, 324,000. The Damn album did 603,000, which was great. Then he took a 5-year hiatus and only came back and did 295,000, and he lost to Future. People were choosing Future over him. Now he disses Drake. He gets a number one, The Keys to the City, a Super Bowl performance, 5 Grammys, and they saying that he did 600,000. Don't know if it's true or not, but he got exposed for having fake streams with SZA. You know what I'm saying? It's good that he catapulted back into, people's good graces, but you won the battle, not the war. Apparently, Drake is winning, and he owns part of these people's catalogs through a company named Gamma, and that's why they're really mad. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you got Rick Ross hating. He's throwing shots. He's trying to promote his book and his album, but his last few albums ain't did too well. He did a collab with Meek Mill that was only 31,000 the first week. His concert tickets are being sold 2 for 1. Okay, he's dissing Rory and Mal, Freeway Ricky, 50 Cent. He's going at everybody. He's claiming that he did 90 million solo and MMG artists did 65 million. We don't know if that's true, my boy. You know what I'm saying? Even Meek Mill saying that he sold 80 million after losing to Drake. But we recall those tweets where you were saying that the label made that. And you were trying to get people to look into your contract. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about this, man. This dude, Jay-Z, man, he's talking reckless, but he's not going to survive, man. Even J. Cole just did 300,000 his first week, and his concert had 800,000 pre-sale seats. 73 shows, that's 100 million gross. And this is his 7th #1 album. I don't even think Jay could compete with him right now. You know what I'm saying? The famous psychic Sloan Bella called out Diddy 6 months before it happened, and she said Jay-Z is next. Since then, he's had lawsuits from this dude Bigsby, and they were fake lawsuits. We seen that coming. You know, he won against that. But then he has Desiree, I think her last name is Perez, is being exposed by her own daughter with a lawsuit, and they're looking into Rock Nation. They're also saying that they're blackballing athletes and artists. And when he tried to get the $40 million for the casino, they want to investigate how he's tied to 16 people that were on those flights, those redacted names. Okay, so it's not looking good for Jay-Z, man. Jay-Z been doing interviews, he's signing autographs, he's doing all these PR stunts to get back in the good graces of the people after a lot of people unfollowed him. He's lashing out, saying that he's on the offense now, he's not doing defense, and he's dissing people at this picnic festival. But just like academics said, you stopped doing the brunch because you were being investigated.
So
Sean Stone.
I'll put it like this. The first night that I went there,
Where was this?
the Cornerstone Lodge in New York, which is a very famous lodge. People like Jay-Z, you know, go there and whatnot. It's, you know, it's
Jay-Z's a Mason?
yeah. From my understanding, he was, you know, he was with that lodge as well, but higher than I was. But the point is that it's.
See, people aren't afraid to speak out now, even though he's been striking YouTube pages, anybody who spoke out against Desiree and whatnot. But it's not a secret. You know, the Blueprint 1, 2, and 3, Watch the Throne, Kingdom Come. Even his book had the cover with the Baphomet image in it. You know, he's been telling y'all that he's a Freemason. You know what I'm saying? He's even on the song Freemason with Rick Ross, which Rick Ross wasn't even a Freemason at the time that he did the song. You know what I mean? When we called him out about acting like a GD, the Freemasons spoke out and called him out as well. You know what I'm saying? But he's running around wearing shirts saying, "Do thou will," quoting Aleister Crowley, the Satanist, and whatnot. It's just not a good look for Jay-Z, man, at this point. They were even putting the square and the compass and Freemason symbols on the Rockaware clothing toward the end when it got sold. You know, when he did the Dynasty cover, throwing up the diamond, all of that was just him signaling to the people that he's in their program, man. Wake up. Pretty much the whole music industry is people part of some type of fraternity or fake secret society. They're not even real Freemasons. You know, these are wannabes. But if you go watch my video on Kai Cenat selling his soul, I got all these people throwing up the symbols and imagery and different album covers and whatnot. You know, it's not a big secret, man.
Silence that he's broke rumors here lately. I told y'all. The man was trying to move out of the U.S. This was before the with this haircut medium. His own team called me saying he was trying to find a cheap house in the UK to move his kids to. So basically, he borrowed from the house that him and Beyonce is in because he couldn't get no personal loan because of reputational risk and financial risk, which means they couldn't even make the loans they were paying because they took out PPP loans for Rock Nation just to save that. Beyonce right now is the only breadwinner in that household. So yeah, he had to run down there and take out a home equity line of credit so that he can do his big one. What he's trying to do now is open up a casino in New York. He's putting out all these publications because, you know, you can pay for those. Those publications come to me all the time. Hey, we can get you on Time. We can get you on Forbes. We can get you this, and we can say you doing this, and it'll bring, oh my God, Tasha K's rich, Black enterprise, and people will think you're rich, even though you're not rich, and we can make it seem like that. And guess what? The whole world thinks you got money when you don't have money so that they can use it to leverage debt. We were the first platform to ever purposely put out before any other publication touched it or even looked at it that Kylie Jenner and the Kardashians were lying to y'all about their wealth. We got video footage of him and his business partner that used to run the cartel before she told on them. Now she working for him, and he got her in board meetings asking the city of New York, could could they bring a casino downtown to Times Square on Broadway, and Broadway Arts Department is saying, hell no, we don't want no drunks and prostitutes around here. And all he can say is, well, I own Rock Nation. I'm gonna bring artists down here that don't nobody want to see, because if people saw them, they would buy their records here in the U.S. They're having to go over to the UK just to get their records bought, because rap is done. So now, because he was able to borrow $50 million from his house, because the banks wouldn't give him no more money, because when he went through COVID, he couldn't even pay the bills then, so he had to borrow that money and pay that money back. He got a $200 million house sitting off the coast of Malibu that he gonna hold for a rainy day in case some shit get thick and some lawsuits get thick. But I'm talking about liquid cash to be able to really invest. They not messing with Jay-Z like that no more. Now he wants y'all money. So the bank wouldn't give him no money. He went and got $50 million from the house. The bank said that's all they can give him. So now, in order to come up with more capital for his casino, basically he's asking New York residents or anybody that's got at least $500 to invest in this new casino, and he may give it back. Now, I don't know if you're going to be guaranteed to get it back, because I'm trying to figure out, like, y'all ain't on the stock market, so how am I going to get my money back? He's done a lot, but I think he's just getting a little too risky right now and a little too greedy.
Jay-Z's friend from the Epstein files, Umar Jabrilov, a Russian politician, has been found with a bullet in his head. They're saying that he offed himself, and it's saying that he offed himself after the release of the files just a couple days ago. Now, Jay-Z had a friendship with this dude as well as Sean Diddy Combs and Beyonce, according to this man. This is him. His name is Umar Jabrilov. And apparently, this dude, his daughter, doesn't believe that he was taken or that he took himself. So it's a lot of interesting information coming out. This is just another connection between the files, Jay-Z, and people in up to 16 names, I believe, that we've been able to connect with Jay-Z as far as people that have been mentioned or have been called clients and friends. So I thought it was interesting information. We're going to bring the reports here and we're going to show you guys what's going on in this situation. My name is Will Evans. Welcome to Will Evans Live. If you've never been here before, it's a subscriber-only chat. So he's being called to come testify before Congress based on his relationship with a lot of people in files. And we did a count on the names, and I'm gonna give you guys a recap in a second of that. But it was like 15 names that this dude was connected to. It's not like it was just one or two people. It's like, bro, it's a lot of people that Jay is connected to. So you can't just overlook it and say, oh no, I'm not gonna talk about it because he's black. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. You know, as many people, black people, that have accused Jay-Z of screwing them over in business and ruining their lives and different things like that. That's the dichotomy that I don't understand. Like, people have this, like, it's okay for Jay-Z to ruin black people's lives according to those people, but it's not okay to talk about him being friends with almost everybody, with a bunch of people, not almost everybody, but about 16 people in the Epstein files, which is crazy. But the report says Jay-Z is at the center of a growing political controversy after a sitting U.S. Congresswoman publicly called for his testimony in connection with the investigation. The demand was made and has drawn widespread attention and raised a fresh wave of questions about how prominent public figures become entangled in high-profile investigations, even in the absence of any formal charges. So basically, she wants to know, why are you connected to everything? How does your name keep coming up in these files? And the reason why is because I'm about to show you guys right now, there's a lot of people that Jay-Z is connected to in these files. And I know that the allegations in the Epstein files are between interaction and an FBI tip that said Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein was in a room where Harvey Weinstein was assaulting a woman and Jay was in there standing there watching. So we know his connection to Harvey Weinstein and the relationship that they've been said to have throughout the years and different things like that. I mean, if you just do a quick Google search of Weinstein and Jay-Z, you're going to find a bunch of pictures of them together, right? By the way, Weinstein's lawyer, Ben Brofman, if you didn't notice, Weinstein's lawyer, Benjamin Brofman, who's the guy right here on the right, that's the guy that gave Jay-Z's lawyer his first job as a defense attorney, Alex Spiro. Also, Brofman, this lawyer right here, represents or represented in the past Weinstein, Diddy, and Epstein. And so think about this. This is the lawyer for Weinstein, Diddy, and Epstein right here. He also is the mentor of Jay-Z's lawyer. Jay-Z's lawyer represents Jay-Z. Let me put him on the screen. Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, represents Jay-Z, Elon Musk, and Alec Baldwin. All those guys are in the files. Elon Musk was begging to go to the island in the files. There was a law firm called Quinn Emanuel Law Firm. They represented Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft is, and by the way, Jay-Z's lawyer currently works for the Quinn Emanuel Law Firm right now. They represented Robert Kraft in his prostitution case. This is Robert Kraft and Jay-Z together. So the law firm that Jay-Z's lawyer currently works for represented this guy. And this guy is the owner of the New England Patriots NFL team. And he's also the guy that brought Jay-Z into the NFL in the beginning to do the Colin Kaepernick deal and all that stuff. Or just to do the deal after the Colin Kaepernick situation, excuse me. So this dude is in the Epstein files as well as somebody that got some legal help from Jeffrey Epstein in a prostitution case that happened in Palm Beach, Florida. Jay's connected to him as well. And then we also seen Jay and Bezos. Bezos was in the files. Jay and Bezos having secret meetings. TMZ caught them outside together for whatever reason, right? We seen Jay-Z and Bill Clinton together in the past. Bill Clinton pulling up on Jay-Z. These are all people files. Hillary Clinton, Jay-Z and Hillary Clinton together. Like, these are all people in the files that people go, wait, what's up with this? Why does dude around all the people, all these different people? Jay-Z and Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola was one of Epstein's closest friends. You know what I'm saying? Tommy Mottola is a music industry executive that was the CEO of Sony, the one that Michael Jackson and Mariah Carey just hated. He was the former husband of Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey divorced him and said he's an evil man. And Michael Jackson said he's a devil, famously called him a devil on stage. Mottola was in file 750 times, according to the DOJ. Jay-Z, former business partner of Mottola. Mottola is also the one that discovered Destiny's Child and Beyonce. That's what he gets credit for Beyonce's career, for discovering her. So these are all people that Jay is around. So when Dame is talking, that's the perspective he's talking from.
Dame didn't put that energy into that brand, Jay-Z would be a backpack rapper. I'm keeping it 1,000. Ho. Before Rockefeller, when Can I Get Open came out, he was already talking that shit. I've been there since then. Do you remember Original Flavor? He wasn't hot. He was not hot. He wasn't hot.
Oh, that shit wasn't hot. When you talk about when Jay-Z was rapping like
that's fast rap. He never was rapping like that.
He was rapping
that fast skibbity do rapping wasn't it.
It wasn't it, dog. You don't give what you talking about. That scum skiggity bum hum. I got the rumble tom.
You're not gonna tell me that, Flex. It wasn't it.
That shit don't even want to pull up on YouTube for him. YouTube like this wasn't it, man.
Nah, wasn't it.
Drake can beat Kendrick, but I know Drake can beat Jay. I know that for a fact. And then I was like, damn, this thing ain't say nothing about 50. 50 been, where's 50? I guess he don't want no smoke with 50, but 50 been kind of quiet lately too, for some reason. And then I'm like, the businessman in me was like, oh shit, I got a TV show coming out that I licensed to BET. And I pivoted toward real estate and I have all these good things going on. This is the alley-oop.
Per day. Drake's entire catalog is 72 million. That's the point. If I had to tell you that this is giving you $8 per day and this gives you $72 per day, who do you think is worth fucking more? It's clearly Drake. So this idea where Jay-Z takes 20 years to get his masters back, right? Yeah, your masters is an 8 million a day masters versus Drake, that's 72 million a day. Drake catalog is 9 times more in streams it's bringing in per day, which means revenue per day. So if you got an asset that makes 9 times the amount of money per day than the other thing, Is it hard to tell what's worth more? Exactly. He's never had this leverage. Rockefeller was never the thing that UMG would be holding their breath on to figure out what we need to do to keep this person. Acting like he's giving Drake game. I'm like, huh? Jay ain't make his billion. Jay-Z didn't make his billion through motherfucking music. Jay-Z made his billion from Bacardi. He sold steak in Douce. And to Bacardi for $750 million. Liquor. Just like how Diddy made his money. All of this, like, y'all gotta stop dick riding. Drake's fucking catalog is worth more than Rockefeller combined, nigga. What the fuck are we talking about? Worth more than Bad Boy combined, nigga. What the fuck are we talking about? So when y'all be talking, like, how these giving advice to Drake? They made billions off of liquor, off of clothes.
Happens to your psychic abilities. What do you think happens after this now?
Honestly, well, we can't forget Kanye West just actually did one of the biggest concerts. I think it was like 118,000 people there.
Oh yeah, we can't hate on. Where was it at?
I believe he did one in SoFi. I remember that.
Oh no, he just did one recently.
It was 118,000 people, the biggest I think ever. Right?
Is this Turkey?
Yes, he did it in Istanbul, Turkey.
He did this in Turkey.
Over
Shout out to Turkey.
118,000 fans.
One thing we can't hate on Kanye. Shout out to Kanye for that.
So what I think, if you ask me,
that's crazy.
Is what I think now. Kanye is another artist with an ego, right? And I don't see him being too quiet as well. So I kind of see. I'm serious.
Oh yeah.
Jay done talk shit about Kanye on this too, right? Because Kanye said some things about Jay. I think he said some things about the little ones as well. So Jay said some things about Kanye acting crazy, but he ain't really too crazy around him, right? And Kanye don't bite his tongue, as we can see. Kanye says what he wants.
Right.
So I think Kanye gonna respond. I think Kendrick Lamar gonna respond. Because that Janice record that we've been finding out lately might be about Joe Budden, right? What they saying, because that's supposed to be Joe Budden's white name. I think Joe Budden's even admitted it.
That from a clip of the JB.
Yeah, he even said he's Janice now. He said, fuck it, because they said that's supposed to be his white name, right? And I think all them lines that he was trying to say about Kendrick in that record and being how that record is getting,
did get that Kendrick
and
too.
being how that record is getting spent so much right now, like they playing that record a lot. I think it's about the #1 record right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
I think Kendrick gonna respond back to Drake again. I think Drake gonna respond to Jay. I think Ye gonna respond to
that.
Jay, and I think Nicki gonna respond.
But
and I think Tory Lanez gonna respond from jail.
Oh yeah, I love.
Because he been dropping projects.
I'm starting to believe this guy. I'm starting to believe
Tory Lanez gonna respond from jail, brother.
But you know what? You know what's the advantage Drake got though right now?
What's that?
When your back is against the wall, you make the best music.
That's a
when
fact.
You're going through something.
That's a fact.
Now, Kanye's a strange dude. 1 minute he's talking about Jesus walks, but then during the Watch the Throne concert, he has a goat on his shirt and he's wearing a kilt skirt, the same skirt Snoop, Diddy, Mac Miller, Post Malone, Mos Def, and all these dudes wear. That's their way of doing the whole zesty thing, and getting away with it. But then he has all red on and he's wearing the hawk from Horus, the sun god, which is where the story of Jesus stole that from Horus. If you know, you know. There were 16 sun gods. But basically, and they were all born around December 25th. But then he comes out with Yeezus, and he has an actual book of Yeezus, and it says in the beginning, Yeezus created heaven and the earth and said, let there be light, all this blasphemy stuff. And they were selling the book for like $1,000, right? Then he has a church, right? And he's trying to bring people to the Lord. And I was like, is he trying to use religion to get back in people's good graces after, he walked off on stage and canceled his tour? He said he lost his mind when, he told them he needed a break and they forced him to do the concert. And then, he pissed off Kim and everybody and he quit the tour or whatever. And then they put him on medication. So it felt like, did he try to use religion to get back good with the people? But then when Balenciaga got exposed for ball worship, he said, watch these people wearing Balenciaga, they're puppets. But then he turns around and takes his wife Bianca on a shopping spree to buy Balenciaga after Balenciaga filed that fake lawsuit, which they later canceled just to throw people off, right? Then he comes out with Donda and they're running around wearing all black, and he has Marilyn Manson and Playboy Cardi with him. And you have this big circle of fire around a house that's supposed to resemble your house in Chicago, which is set on fire and you're set on fire. So it's all this dark imagery. Now they're wearing these black robes, and the Donda clothing resembles outfits that he seen when he went to Israel. The priests were wearing this when they went there on the Kardashian show, and he was just smiling in the crowd. And I knew he was going to do something, and he did. He came out with clothing to mimic them with the black hoods and whatnot, right? But then you turn around and you have Marilyn Manson with you, which is crazy. How many times Kanye been canceled, man? He keeps bouncing back. You remember they had to make him move his money out the bank, 145 million? You know what I'm saying? This dude keeps bouncing back, man. He spent 7 million on a Super Bowl commercial, and then what happened? He sold 145,000 the first week, 892,000 streams, making it platinum. You know what I'm saying? For the Vultures album, right? Then he made 20 million off of Donda 2, which wasn't even on no platforms. You had to buy an iPod to play that. You know what I'm saying? He just had 2 shows in Cali and made over 33 million? Then he just did 118,000 seats sold in Turkey, and Albania is building a 60,000 seat stadium for his concert since the UK banned him. Come on, man. The Bully album just did 50 million streams the first day, 152,000 the first week, #2 on the Billboard. Jay-Z can't do that, man. Jay-Z tried to do his little 3 shows in Philly, and he did not sell out. He told Jermaine Dupri not to do the whole Super Bowl contract, and then he did it, you know? And he keeps talking all this independent stuff, but Reasonable Doubt, you know, you guys came out 1995. By 1996, you sold half the company for 1.5 million, you know? And then in 2004, you sold it for 10 million, and you did not include Dame Dash in that deal. You bought him out for 22 million. And then you also did him dirty with Rockaware and resold that for like, it was a crazy number, they said. You know what I'm saying? But I believe what he did was he went and got next to them people like Weinstein and you know, all these people, Shapiro, all these rich white folks, Bezos, and he kept talking about he had Obama on the text and Clinton and Hillary and all that. And he thought that, you know, he was moving on up just like Dirk, you know, got the keys to the city and making all these donations. And then what happened? The Fed swooped in. You know, Jay-Z cut off people like Calvin Klein and Dame Dash and D Haven, and he did all his homeboys dirty to get next to them white people. He just didn't know them people was dirtier. People don't want to pull out a dictionary when they listen to your music. That's what a chick told Cameron about Nas, and that's true, man. When it comes to Kendrick with these double entendres and trying to figure it out, you know, it took some YouTubers to sit down and determine what this dude is talking about, you know what I'm saying? But people like the song Ain't Like Us because it was simple, even though he did steal the bars from some Twitter users. You know, that whole A minor thing and a couple of other things came from Twitter users. He didn't come up with that on his own. You know, he's rapping on these Alchemist beats, trying to sound like Andre 3, which Rick Ross even pointed that out. If you listen to 616 in LA and Meet the Gram, that's Andre all day. You know what I'm saying? It was tight, but it wasn't nothing that you go back and play over and over. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're just a diehard Kendrick fan. You know what I'm saying? To me, Drake was doing well with push-ups and everything. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really care for the second single or whatever, Family Matters, but I liked the Drake songs, you know what I'm saying? But to me, it was like an even trade. I don't think one was better than the other when it came to the battle, you know? But when it comes to Jay-Z trying to come back and do that with all this deep shit, people ain't trying to figure out who you talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? You need to simplify it. Someone actually put a beat behind his freestyle diss and it actually sounded decent, but it still wasn't shit to me. You know what I'm saying? And before that, he put out a diss to Drake. I don't know if that was AI or whatnot, and it was on a beat. and he was rapping about owning the masters. To me, that wasn't shit. You know what I mean? I think you got to come better than that if you want to say that you're this top goon and you're the number one and you're the king of hip hop and all that. You got to come better, my boy. You know what I'm saying? And at this time, people ain't scared to speak out no more. And these young niggas don't care. These young Generation Z people, man, they don't even listen to Jay-Z. So I think he'll go platinum if he comes back, but I don't think it's going to hit the same, you know. The Grammys is all about relationships, and they just tweeted that they support Drake's Iceman. So yeah, they let Kendrick get them Grammys like they always do, but I guarantee you Drake's about to hit hard. So don't sleep.